Guys, welcome back to another video. And yeah, as you can see, we're checking out Brisket. And in the last video I did mention in the comments that I will be checking out Brisket next, and I did manage to get her Vanguard familiar first try, so I'll place her down and I'll show you guys what she does. So pretty much with Brisket, as you can see, she just leaves the yo-yos where the attack occurred. If a yo-yo existed already, it deletes that yo and replaces it with a new one. Anytime this unit uses meter, gain a 20% damage buff and a 10% range buff for 20 seconds. This buff can stack. If a stack occurs, the duration is refreshed. 5 stacks max. And yeah, as you can see, familiar wise, there's a lot to take a look at, so I'll explain it to the best of my ability. So give me a second. Okay, so pretty much Brisket is a spark buffer, so she buffs their damage by 80%. When this unit does an action that would consume a place yo-yo, leaves a yo-yo where the unit was. When this unit consumes meter, deal 30% of that damage action to all enemies on the range. So in the map, all enemies in the map. So basically, she's got full map DPS to an extent. When this unit uses yo-yo follow-up, automatically use it again after 0.5 seconds and keeps using it until the unit is out of meter. Can no longer generate meter from the active attack. Increase buff from town inside me to 50% per stack. So as you can see, this part right here, instead of 20%, it's 50% buff for damage. So it gets up to 250% damage just from that alone. Whenever this unit uses an active, cleanse self all stats effect. So that's stuns, boss attacks and stuff like that. Attacks from this unit stun enemies for 2 seconds. This unit's ability damage is counted as a follow-up, and enemies inflicted with Conduit take 70% more damage from follow-ups by spark units. Decrease active cost to 30% meter. So instead of course costing 50% of the meter, it costs 30%. And then there's a lot more here as well. So increases damage by 1000%, increase meter gain from this unit by attacks by 500%, increase range by 30%. So that's all for the Vanguard familiar. So it's nice using her with Virgil, so I'll check it out with Virgil as well. And that's why we have Nami here to apply Conduit. And yeah, as you can see, whenever this unit spends meter, refund 30% of the meter spent. That's why we have this memorial on her, and I do have it with Deadeye. You can give it what's it called again? Divinity if you want, because as you can see, only 10% crit chance, so not really going to be that impactful having the 10% crit chance. So in terms of upgrades, you can see 70k to max Brisket right here. So 70k to max, and it ends on a circle, so we'll spawn in an enemy, check the DPS just on that one enemy for now, and then we'll check with the Conduit applied and see the damage difference. Okay, singular enemy, we'll use that active ability. I forgot to auto it. So yeah, you can see it will just stay above 0%, and you can see the overheads that she does get. So 4.3 overhead, and she's doing a lot of damage. So when 1 minute has like elapsed, I'll put the damage on screen of like how much damage she did for that 1 minute, and the DPS for that minute, just with no Conduit. So in most cases, you would run her with Conduit, of course. But you can see stunning consistently as well, and you can see the ability is being popped basically every 0.5 seconds. So it's very nice. And you can see she does not go to 0% meter, so it's perfectly fine. So I think it hasn't been 1 minute yet, it will be 1 minute soon, but it should be like roughly like 12 mil DPS with no Conduit applied, something like that. I think it was 12 mil DPS from my numbers from before, when I was checking before. So yeah, give it like 5 more seconds and I'll put on the screen how much damage she did for that 1 minute. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, we did roughly 670 million damage in the 60 seconds. So it was roughly like 11.1 million DPS. So that's with no Conduit. So we'll bring in Conduit now and see how it goes. Okay, so now we'll be spawning in the same enemy, but of course with Conduit applied now. So 1135 and we'll stop at 1235. So yeah, you can see the damage numbers are going to be even crazier now. So like, yeah, 18 million, 21 million, 24 million, consistent 24 million damage hits. So yes, it should be roughly like 22 million DPS, somewhere near that. And if you do manage to get a lucky crit, it will just be even more. Like you see that 37, 30, was it 32 or 30 something on the crit as well? So yeah, she can do a lot of extra, that 34 million on the crit. So yeah, you can see it's been like, what's it, 600 million that quick. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, it's gonna be roughly 1 minute very soon, and she's already done over 1 billion damage, which is crazy. So yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, and yeah, 1. So I'll bring back the recording and show you guys the damage she did over that 1 minute. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see, roughly did 1.4 billion damage over 60 seconds, and that roughly correlates to 23.6 million DPS. So we'll say 23, 22 million DPS. That's just with Conduit, so you can see she pulls some crazy numbers. So even if we gave her like extra buffs, we're only using 2 slots right now. So 22 million DPS with only 2 slots is kind of crazy. And since she does do full map damage, so we'll place one more enemy like down here, just to see how much damage this boss takes as well. So I'll spawn on the boss here, we'll see how much damage this boss takes, and we'll take the DPS, full map DPS on the, I'll put the full map DPS on screen as well, so give me a second. Okay, so 48, so when it hits 1648, we'll see how much damage. So each tick is doing 6 million, 7 million? 7 million, so 7.3 million each time, which is kind of crazy. So 7.39, well 10 million on that one, I don't know why. But yeah, roughly I'll put on screen the full map DPS that she does have after the timer does get hit. So roughly like 24 more seconds. So yeah. But you can see this one does take a lot of damage, but on top of that, this one's also taking a lot of damage as well. So yeah, overall Bridget is such a crazy unit, you know? Pretty crazy unit. So yeah, like, yeah, 4, 3, 2, and yeah, 1. I'll bring back the recording once I have it. The damage numbers. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the full map DPS was roughly like 5 million DPS. And yeah, even if the enemy does have Conduit, the numbers are still the same in terms of like the actual damage. So yeah, as long as the enemy she is hitting has Conduit, that's all that matters. But yeah, that's overall what Brisket can do with for by herself. So let's just bring in Virgil and see how well Virgil can do with Brisket's buff. So what is it again? So enemies inflicted. Yep. Okay, so you will have Brisket placed down and see how much damage Virgil can do with and without Conduit. So yeah, let me bring back the recording once I have everything set up. Okay, so I'm gonna be having Brisket applying the stun, because as you guys do know, she applies stun. So we have Brisket stunning and then Virgil doing his stuff. I did give him the same Memoria as Bridget, so we'll see how it goes. And also you can see 80% damage boost just from Brisket alone because of this passive right here. So yeah, with and without Nami, we'll see the damage difference. So let me put a boss here and we'll see from 30. So yeah, let's go. So when the timer hits like 23:30, we'll see the damage numbers from Virgil. I can also check here as well how much damage he did. So yeah, I'll use this number instead of the actual boss number because that's Brisket's damage as well. Okay, so we'll see how much damage Virgil can do. And yeah, this is giving him a bird that gives him 40% crit damage and 20% crit chance. Okay, so his damage numbers does not seem crazy. You can see Brisket has already done more, so we'll see when the Conduit is applied, it should be a lot more. Since he is going to be following up a lot. Okay, I don't think this meter one works. Okay, yeah, this Memoria does not work for him. So yeah, it's been 30, you can see he's only done 34 million damage, so I guess I'll change the Memoria and also bring in like Conduit as well to the boss. So I won't really put on screen the damage numbers because as you can see it was only like 35 million, which is pretty mid. So yeah, let me despawn this boss and I'll be right back. Alright, so you can see I changed the Memoria to Denji's one just so the follow-ups are doing 30% more damage. Of course there are better ones I can use, but I don't have any enemies bleed or anything like that, so we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, same thing. Timer gets to 30. At 26:30 we'll stop. So let's see how much damage he does now. So before he did 35 million, so we'll see how much he does now. And yeah, because the boss has a Conduit, he's already done so much more as you can see. So any follow-up he is doing like, how much more damage? I forgot what it said. Was it 80%? 70% more damage, so yeah. When you enter his Devil Trigger, so he should be doing a lot more, we'll see. Yeah, he's already gonna get to 35 million way quicker than usual. Yeah, he's already exceeded the damage, well, without Conduit, of course. Of course, we're using a better Memoria as well, but still. It would have been a lot more anyways. Because Conduit is giving a 30% amp plus the 70% amp on follow-ups. And yeah, so he did roughly like 56 million. Was it 56 million damage in like 60 seconds? So yeah, you guys can do the maths on that. It's like, was it 800k DPS? I don't know, something like that. Whatever this number says, it's something like that. So it does make Virgil a lot better, but he's not as good as you guys will think. He doesn't do much. In terms of the spark options, there are, let's check. So are there any other spark units who are following up? So do you follow up? No, I don't know. Oh, does it work with Kafka? I don't think it works with Kafka's follow up. Let's check. Do you follow up? Um Oh, you do follow up, so it could make Stark even. We'll check Stark as well. So let me bring in Stark and check how well he does. So let's just replace you for Stark, I guess. So same exact things, just check Stark's damage. Because he should be following up as well on with attack. Was it attack 1? Yeah, 60%. So you will see how much more damage he is doing compared to what's his name? Virgil. I forgot to pay attention to the timer, so I guess I'll just retrace like his numbers. No, I don't think I can even do that. I guess he will be the same as Virgil, but the one thing that he has over Virgil is he's of course slowing enemies as well. Yeah, the DPS is gonna be roughly the same as well. What other options are there as well? Does he follow up? I don't know. I can't lie. I haven't seen. Okay, I forgot to do that. Shh, that's annoying. Let me just put this on him. So, does he follow up? He does not follow up. Okay, interesting. But yeah, overall, Brisket is such a great unit. She'll be good for like future Spark units. In terms of like these guys, so like if Stark gets a Vanguard familiar, if Virgil gets one, so she'll just make any like Spark unit in the future a lot better because of course 80% damage buff and also 70% more follow-up damage. And yeah, overall by herself she's a crazy unit, so she has 22 million DPS with a Conduit applied to an enemy and roughly like 5 million map DPS. So yeah, she's pretty good and she's a very good option for Spark teams and stuff. And that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next one. Peace.